Hello everyone, welcome back to Journals by Jadis. I am Carrie and this is my Collect Yo Junk March Challenge for April at PinkOddBird. It is not completed, but it is like 80% there, 70, 80, that kind of thing. It is bound already, and I will go through. I just wanted to give you a flip through, because I had the time to create a video. That has been my biggest hurdle lately, is finding the time to do it with 2 young kids and trying to at least make a semi-quality video to share with people. It's easier when I don't have a little one hanging on my leg. So, and when I'm with my kids, I'm spending time with them, and then I find time to craft with them or around their schedules. So, all that being said, April from PinkOddBird put together a challenge of taking it back old school and creating a junk journal, a just junk journal. Although there are no hard, fast rules, this isn't like a rule type of challenge, the idea was just be true to using junk. My interpretation of junk is anything that has already gone into or is on its way to refuse. So whether that's trash or recycle, and just finding creative ways to use it in a junk journal style. So with that, you might see some things that, I did really try to stay true to using junk. A lot of it is junk mail or junk types of things or broken items. So as I get into it, I'll kind of explain what the items are and how I got to them and how I can justify them as being junk. With that, I did not use any scrapbook paper. I was very limited on tools that I used. I think I only rounded the corners of one thing, and I just did it today because it was a journaling card and I was showing my daughter and this, that, and the other. So all that, let's get started. For the beginning, the outside of it is actually a reusable bag, and the handle broke. And but I liked the floral pattern of it. Now, I will say what I did not think to do is the inside of it is a cracker box. It says, what is it? Townhouse crackers. And it's because you can see right through there. And after I glued it down, I didn't realize that, I didn't realize before I glued it down that I would need to cover that up. But again, it's a junk journal. It doesn't bother me. My intention for this journal is to document time with my daughter. So when we go out to lunch, or if we go run errands, or if she draws me a picture, I won't put all of her collections in here because I have other journals for that. But that is my hope and thought, is to have a collection of time spent with my daughter. My intention is to also make one for my son. He's only a year old, so I can journal about it. I won't have as much to put in it just yet as a journal, except for journaling stuff, whereas this one I can put stuff in, and I'll show you. The green portion is from the reusable bag. It's part of either the side or the bottom, but it is cut. So this is one piece, this was a second piece, this was a third piece. I bound it with, I think it's called flag trim. It's like flag yarn, I think is what it's called, but it's just yarn. And although it wasn't junk per se, it was given to me from a neighbor. So it was not anything that I went out and purchased to create junk journals with. I did use the sewing machine to stitch down, just to give it a little bit of interest, but to also, hold it together a little bit better. So the inside of it is, part of a pattern, like a quilting pattern book, and I just lined the backside of the cardstock with it. I also used another portion of the reusable bag to create a pocket here, and it's nice and sturdy. I mean, this is great stuff to work with because it's pretty sturdy, It's not just paper and it's not just fabric. It's like this great meld between recycling, because a lot of these are made from recycled materials anyways. So I did that, and I'll go over this with you. So this was a Gerber baby food packaging. It's still pretty much in its raw state. I just cut the edges off of it. This is from a magazine. I don't know if you can see this, but I was having a day, and I really loved this image, and I wanted it on this. But I put the glue all over the picture and stuck the thing on. In realizing it, after squealing and realizing that I had done this, I tried to pull it off. And you can see that some of the packaging stuck to the picture, but I was able to salvage it enough for me. So again, just going with the flow here. So I made a big journaling card out of that. And like I said, although it's put together, it's not finished. I might do some embellishing on it. This is a receipt from the grocery store. I just made a little, I think they're called coin pouch type things. I've been making a lot of these lately. But this is a receipt. you know, Rosa's Mexican Kitchen, just right down the road, you know, so that's on the back side of that. This is a magazine piece. So I used a lot of one magazine in here, but I did the same thing. I used it to make a little coin pouch type thing. This I plan on using. I plan on planting these. I had a friend that passed recently, and these seeds were given out at her little memorial gathering, forget-me-nots. So my intention is to plant these with my daughter and then turn this into a pocket of sorts somewhere in here and be able to use that as a pocket. So that is why that is in here, is just to, you know, when we get to that point. So this is 4 signatures. This is the beginning of the first. This is not scrapbook paper. It is actually a happy planner page from 2019. I think it was 2018-19 was the year. So again, it's beautiful and it doesn't look junky, but it was on its, I didn't have a purpose anymore except for being scraps. So for me, I justified it as junk for this challenge. And actually what it was is, so I have 4 signatures, and this brown part is packaging paper from like shoes or something. It was a long strip of craft paper. And I did some experimenting with some things on there, but I wasn't 100% in love with how it turned out. I wanted a little bit more color. So I just cut this out and put it on here. You guys, this one is nothing. I didn't do a lot of measuring. It's a lot of rough edges and rough cuts, but I don't care. I wanted it to be simple and functional. So on here, this was the day we had went and had lunch together. So I knew I wanted to use this in this journal, and that's why it's already in here, even though it's like I've started using it as I'm creating it, and I'm fine with that. But it's the packaging that when you get your utensils at Chili's, I just folded it over and made a pocket, and she was coloring on it and I was coloring on it. So that was March 1st that we did this. But this is also packaging. This is from a box of tea. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's P-U-K-K-A. Pucka or Puka, I'm not sure. But the packaging is gorgeous. This is the exterior part and this was the interior part, but I liked that it said a mindful break. So I left it. Again, I don't know if it's in its final state, but you'll also see pages from the planner that I never got to use. So the back sides of, oh, that's right, that one right here. The back sides of the graph paper and the dot paper and the calendar that's within it. I also made this into a belly band. So not only is it a double pocket, it's a belly band. This is just a collage from pages from this magazine. You guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This magazine that I got, I don't remember where I got it from. It's just sitting on my like junk journaling shelf. I don't even know where I got it. But I live in Colorado. And many of you, if not all of you, know that Colorado was one of the first states to legalize marijuana. And this entire magazine is dedicated to marijuana. I didn't realize it at the time, and I am not judging, or I don't even care. I personally don't use it, but the pictures and the imagery were gorgeous in this thing. But I didn't even realize, I was like, wow, there's a lot of ads for cannabis and CBD in here. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Then I realized it's a pot magazine. I had no clue. So it was hilarious, but gorgeous pictures in here. So this magazine is pieces from there, and it said like Mother's High Tea on there. So it is not that I'm against it at all. It just does, it's not a representation of my life. So I just covered up some of the parts that just were irrelevant to my use. And then I was like, oh man, this forest looks like a big old pot field, which I don't think it is. Up here underneath this piece, it tells about somebody taking a trip to Boulder. So I just covered it up because I liked this image. But it was funny because like, here's a big pot leaf over here in the corner. It was funny. I thought it was funny. So anyways, moving on. This is part of an old catalog that I had, and I liked the colors, so I kept it. This is a piece of the planner. I just cut up little pages where I had not used it. This piece of paper is actually the backside of my schedule for work. When I go to work, they tell you where everybody is going to be working that night, and so this was the backside of it. This was part of a calendar. This underneath here, it was part of an envelope, like a security envelope. This is also an envelope. You can see I kind of took it apart a little bit. I made it kind of a flip out type of thing, but what I was practicing with here, I had done this months ago, was taking, I went onto Canva and I created a design, and then I took an envelope and I put it through my printer and printed the image out onto my envelope. Now, I have an inkjet, so it does not adhere to the, and I don't know if a laser does or not, but it did not adhere to the acetate but I just took a baby wipe and wiped it off, and it came off no problem. So I thought that was kind of cool. This was a leftover piece. This one is about wine country in Colorado. We do, there are some parts, I think it was at the Western Slope, that they do a lot of wine because the temperatures work there. Some line paper from the planner. I made a little pocket here from, here, let me get a piece of paper. I made a pocket here on the back side of this envelope. This was just, these were some pictures out of the magazine I thought were pretty. I think this is from Colorado Springs area. And let's see. This is beautiful, the maroon bells. Oh, the images are gorgeous. So that was the center for that signature. Again, just a little bit of collaging. This was March's calendar, or sorry, February's calendar page that we hang up at our house. So there were like birthdays written and schedules and stuff. This is that tea. You might hear my little guy crying in the background. He just woke up from a nap, but I'm going to go grab him as soon as I'm done filming this. So yeah, part of the tea packaging, and then I just inked this plain piece of paper up to make it blue. Another bit of a magazine. I just covered up. I used scrap pieces to cover up stuff that I'm like, oh, it's just random words that I don't need in there. Another journaling card from the Gerber baby packaging. And then the other side of the envelope, some more packaging from, or more catalog. I love kombucha tea, kombucha, however you want to pronounce it. And I thought, I like this brand, and I think that they have nice pictures. The other side of the forest, the other side of the paper. Here's some more of the planner pages, the cardstock that's in between the, you know, where the months would, so it would kind of go like this. So here is actually the piece that I cut off to make it fit. And that was Q2 for something I was working on. Another privacy envelope. I drive a Subaru, so this was some mail from that I got from that. Another catalog image. Planner paper, another bit that I did on envelopes when I printed them. This is 2 blank pieces, or the back sides of, it was a budget journal that I had printed off. I think you can see through there where it said January. I put the 2 printed pages together and sewed them together for some blank space. Another catalog page. This is a belly band, I believe. Yes. I was like, I can't remember if I had made it a belly band or not. It's not super strong because it's just this, and it's on magazine paper, but I thought it would work still. Another calendar page from February. This was looking forward into March. There was a birthday. Catalog page, blank page, envelope page, catalog. This is kind of a, it's still blank page, but I just let it fold out. This was actually junk mail that I put scrap envelope pieces onto. End of the second signature, beginning of the third. You'll see this, it's the same theme all the way through. I thought this picture was gorgeous. This one also out of the old cannabis magazine. This is a page from, my daughter has this unicorn sticker book type of thing, but it's blank, and then you add stickers to create the unicorn faces, like a tiara and a horn and the ears. The stickers may or may not stay on, but I backed those 2 together, and so this is the other side. She had a wand. This is a privacy envelope, or not a privacy, it's one of those like when you have to return something, like it's for a dentist office. And then this was the back of a privacy envelope, and then some scraps from my planner. Just turned that into a flip out pocket. Notes here. I just thought this was pretty. The same thing, I printed this off of the internet and then put it onto an envelope. And then that's the back side of it. Forest again. A flip out page. This is from that budget worksheet that I had. A flip out here. The other side of the calendar, the bottom side, so the maroon bells, this was a full 8.5 by 11 page. This is the reflection of the top. So this is the water that is holding the image of the mountains that were up top from the other signature. This is just a little flip up. I would think I was just covering up something that, you know, was irrelevant. I didn't need to have in there. This can serve as a corner tuck. I may cut the bottom and fold it out. We'll see, because it's hard to tuck on the inside of the book. This is the tea that I drank, and when I finished it, I kept the tag, or I'm sorry, the pouch, the packaging, but it also, this is the same one from the packaging that I showed you earlier. This is water, but it was really pretty. And this is, I hope that the lighting isn't really horrible. This is like a galaxy image I thought was pretty. Some more of the forest page, the back side of the envelope, the 2 pages together, the unicorn, the other unicorn, some scrap collage paper, because this, I liked that this page was orange, this magazine page, but I didn't want all the words that were on it. This is another piece of receipt that I turned into a pocket. I just glued it down. And then this kind of folds out. I liked the type. I don't know what font it is, but I liked the spacing, so I thought it would make a nice background. I didn't do anything with this page yet. And then this one I thought was cool. So this is packaging from the tea. This is the interior packaging. This owl came from the magazine, but I turned it into a belly band. This is some more of the Maroon Bells page. And then it's actually a HelloFresh envelope. So there was like a card in here. But I just kind of altered it, covered up all the HelloFresh stuff, and then made it into an envelope that I tucked behind the belly band. So this is the final signature. But I like that it said this is not the end, it's just the beginning. And I actually made it the last signature on purpose. I thought this carousel image was nice. Glued some paper on the back. I thought this page was nice. Did some collaging. This was, I call it junk because it was a misprint, because my printer is acting up. It's still currently acting up. So I have all these like lines through it, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. So I just grabbed it because it also provided backing for another page. This is some more scrap envelope or scrap mail. This was part of that budget worksheet. This is the envelope, but I thought that the window was really pretty to see through onto here. And then my daughter's handprints on a painty page. She was painting one day with my sister when she was here. And then the center signature, which has part of our calendar. And then some handprints, part of the catalog, privacy envelope, paper. You know, you guys are like, you've already said all these things over and over, because it's the same junk, just used in different ways. Privacy envelopes glued together. I don't know if I left this as a pocket. No, I let it be a kind of like a flip out for extra journaling. This was just the top of the calendar, the back side of some catalog or some magazine, and then the final, the back of the 4th signature. This, I was playing with paints one day. I grabbed a scrap envelope and I was like, oh, let's paint it. And I really liked the colors. So this became an envelope. This was junk mail from my college saying, thank you for sending us money one time, and we're going to call you every month so that you can keep making contributions, as if they didn't get enough of my money. Anybody who's gone to college and has student loans knows what I'm talking about. But I thought this image was really pretty, so I put it on top of the card that they sent me in the mail. I just put some of this on here. I thought we could write in the lines, and it's just a nice card. Actually, I think it... Look at that, guys. I didn't even realize this is the card, the envelope the card went in. So there you go. Just goes to show you, it really was junk. I just grabbed stuff and started going. I made a little corner tuck from the reusable bag. I don't know. Oh, it's because this paper. You guys, this is still a work in progress. So this is like, continue to work on your junk journal. So because I had the time, and like I said, it's always hard to film. Like you hear my little guy's waking up from his nap. I had just enough time to film this. Just to show you what I'm doing. I am not sure if I'm done with the cover. I obviously have plenty of room for this to grow and become a nice memory keeping place for my daughter and I. So collect yo junk. Let's see what you guys have all put together. I know there's many of you already in on this challenge, and if you're not in on this challenge, it doesn't have to be a challenge. You could do this anytime. It doesn't have to be in the month of March. And I know it's the beginning of March, but like I said, I have plenty to go in here. So collect your junk. Let's see what you did below. Thanks for sticking around, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about all of my junk. So until next time, have a great day, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.